Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. Who wants to start first? This- I'm sorry, you know what? For some reason, I didn't have my speakerphone on. I feel, I apologize. That was sorry. But as I explained earlier, that the Stephen Bell was not able to make it this evening, so I just wanted us to spend some time talking about either the favorite site on the southeast side that you visit most or the one that you work at. And does someone want to start this off besides me?
my favorite site is the Southeast Chicago History Museum in the Calumet Park Cultural Center.
Oh, okay. And why is that?
Well, number one, I've lived in South Chicago all my life, and you've got a lot of dedicated people that are working at that museum. And it's a storehouse of knowledge about the Southeast side. And it's one of the major places I go to. I walk at Calumet Park all the time and visit the museum often. And you got a gentleman on there now on the call, Rod Sellers, who is number one as far as history, as far as the southeast side of Chicago.
I don't know the guy. Is that
Tongue
true?
in cheek.
Yes, Rod, what about that?
It's nice to know that people realize we are located in Calumet Park Cultural Center. We do have quite an interesting amount of material on the history of the Southeast side. Just to give you an idea, recently we received an almost complete set of Mount Carmel High School yearbooks. And although we are crammed to the gills and we don't have much space for more things, sometimes when a donation like that comes around, you can't pass it by.
Go MC.
All right.
Rod, I'm going to be making a donation pretty soon. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you thought the holy water font from St. Patrick's was okay, what I'm going to deliver probably in April is going to blow you away.
I hope we have room to accept it.
Yes.
It's a little, it's pretty big, but I hope you could find spot for it.
Rod is the master of making room for things. I don't know how he does it, but
I think I'm running out of that. I'm at a loss recently for finding space for things. And unfortunately, things are starting to pile up in the museum.
Tim Carrick, did you have something to say? I don't know if he's he was on chat for a while. I wanted to bring up something that we talked about at our advisory committee meeting last November, first week in November. And we were talking about the managers that will play and that they don't talk to each other. And so we were trying to get to discuss ways to bring the managers at the Wolf Lake watershed, the 6 managers to talk to each other and maybe coordinate a little bit better than they have over the past 20 years that I've been around. And Valerie, you were on one of those. We divided up into 3 groups. And do you recall what your group had to say?
You know, I'm embarrassed to admit it has been long enough and enough has happened since that I'm not remembering too clearly. I do recall that we spoke about the importance of making sure that families, schools, you know, educators, children, that they are aware of what is going on. And I think we may have suggested that members of the public like that may actually help to hold the managers accountable. Other than that, I'm not recalling at the moment where else our conversation went. I'm sorry.
That's pretty good. I couldn't. I had a hard time. Like it's like one advisory committee is like another one. After you have so many, but that was a discussion that I'm going to continue to ask questions about and pursue, because I think that was really discussed by quite a few people, and the discussions went on after the meeting, and so probably a good idea is try to get all those people in those discussions, maybe to get them together and rethink or see what we could do in the future.
What is it? Different advisory councils get together, Michael?
Well, that was our objective 20 years ago. Was
Okay.
people to talk to each other across the state line. But there are 3 managers on the Illinois side, and then there's Hammond, Lake County, and Indiana DNR on the Indiana side, and really people don't seem to talk to each other, and they're all working in the same watershed, and it's always been a puzzle why that is. And I would think even in raising money, in getting grants, if the 6 managers work together, you know, they could probably improve the watershed better than they're doing now. Although there are some projects that are going on that are really significant, and it does include a couple managers working together. But it would be nice that if all 6 did, and that has been my concern for a long time. And I thought, well, since Stephen Bell couldn't make it, maybe we could sit around and solve that problem. But
if you solve that problem, Mike, we'll have to vote for you for president.
yes, you know, and it's just not me, because when I complain about folks talking, it seems like folks in Illinois have no problem talking to Iowa or Wisconsin or any other state on its borders, but Indiana and Illinois just don't seem to talk to each other very well. And other people say the same thing, so I'm not the only one.
Wow.
But it's and it's really not just across the state lines either, because I think the 3 in Illinois don't always talk to each other that often, that well. And so I've always That's what I'd like to see happen, but it doesn't appear to happen too often, or often enough, that's for sure.
Michael, excuse me, can I ask who are the three bodies in Illinois you're referring to?
Well, it'd be Illinois DNR, and Lake County, and Cook County Forest Preserve District, and the city of Chicago.
Okay, thank you.
So
It's interesting because you have a new board member from the Illinois DNR, right?
yes,
And he's the community outreach.
yes,
And I've tried to contact him several times via email and he has not replied to me. So I'm outreaching to him, but he's not outreaching back. And I'm wondering why is that? Because I live in Indiana?
no, I think one of the reasons he's they assigned him to go out of state for about a week, so I think he's been traveling a lot.
Well, this was just like 2 days after he was elected.
Okay,
And then subsequently, like 2 weeks after that, and I thought, I'll just give him time. Maybe he's overwhelmed. And I thought, well, maybe I'm not getting through, or maybe I need to go through you since you're an Illinois resident. Maybe he doesn't feel necessary to call me back or text me or email me.
okay, I can email him and find out where he's been. It turns out that there are only two of them, and his responsibility is the northern half of Illinois, and there's a second person that's responsible for the southern half.
And interestingly enough, I turned to him because I emailed the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and they didn't reply to me. And that's been going on for 6 months. And then when you introduced me to him, I said, all right, here's my connection. And then I thought, well, this has been going on for over a half a year and I can't get anybody to reply back to me.
Okay, I'll mention that. That's Dave.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
thank you.
I'll talk to him. He's been pretty open to me, but of course he's on my board. But I'll see.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
See, that's easy. Is Eve Duray on? Eve, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I know you like Eggers because that was a recent visit there for the
Yes.
tourists, right? Would you consider that?
Well, you know what, I can't say I have spent enough time, as much time as I would in any one of a number of places. Eggers, I was ecstatic to be able to go to Eggers that one day when we were there for a talk, which was really a lot of fun. And so if there's events going on, that gives me a reason to go to a certain place. But there's, I'm excited about all the forest preserves. I drive kind of through the bottom end of Cook County as I'm driving to Governor's State in University Park. And there's a number of places there I'd like to, walk and visit and things like that. So I haven't had an opportunity to do that. One of the other places that I think is really cool that I did go to is it Grand Marsh or Great Marsh?
Big Marsh.
Great Marsh. So where Steve is from, where the environmental center is.
Yeah, that's Big Marsh.
Big Marsh.
Big, great, grand, it's all the same. Anyway, I thought it was pretty, I'm going to call it the awesome marsh because I thought it was pretty awesome, but I haven't gotten back yet there to walk around. I thought the environmental center I did spend significant time there. And then I was there in October for that like little symposium that they put on, which was extremely interesting to me. So I hope to get back there at some point to walk the grounds a little bit more and see more. And also there's a sculpture there that I haven't seen, and you know, that sort of thing. So I do want to explore that a little bit more. But I just think I get excited when I'm hearing about restoration efforts. And then there's a group on the southeast side. I don't know how this would advertise, but I happen to see this on, it was probably on Instagram. Oh, it was Matt Kaplan, who I learned about through this organization and I started following him on Instagram after he spoke. And he was talking about, he took pictures at an event that I wasn't aware of ahead of time. And that was an attempt to get this little square of grass, this little square of, you know, like grass next to the river off of 100th Street. Is it 100 or 103rd? I think it's 100th Street. And right across the bridge, and it's all, when you go there, it's all fenced in. So they were there that day and hoping to make that a public space. Do you know anything about that?
It used to be Commonwealth Edison's grounds. And they're in the process, I believe, of trying to make that a public space for the people in the area, yes.
Right, and it's just a small little space, but it's right on the river. And
Right.
you know, when I think about this whole area, we don't have a relationship with our rivers, the Little Calumet, the Grand Calumet, and probably some people don't even know that they're there. I mean, so any information about the Calumet rivers, you know, the Calumet River, I'm kind of interested in, just because it's there and there's such a history there. So, and also I got excited about learning about that attempt because it allows people to be in a space where they wouldn't otherwise be able to be. I mean, it gives you kind of a unique space. So I think that would be really cool.
That area, I've walked that area a couple times, Eve, and it looks small from the street, but once you get back there, it really opens up quite a bit. It's really a lot of land that they're trying to make available. And the 2 times that I've been there, there's been quite a turnout by the people in the area. So there is some hope that eventually it will become a public space.
How do you get in there? I mean, can you just walk in there, or?
Well, actually, I live close to that area, and I just walk from my house right down 98th Street. And the entrance, I don't think it's always open, but when the people that own the property were showing it to the people that are interested in developing it, they opened it up, and quite a few people, you had to do a little walking to get to actually past the fenced in area and that, but I was able to walk from my house right to that area.
Okay,
So,
well, it's not apparent because I drove around there and I think I probably drove on 98th Street because it kind of dead ends right there.
exactly.
But it looked to me like everything was like fenced and locked.
It
So-
was, yeah. It's I believe it's still owned by Commonwealth Edison, and they're trying to sell that portion or give that portion, sell that portion, whatever they're going to do. They're trying to get people interested and the community interested, and hopefully whoever the next mayor is will investigate, and the next alder person from the 10th Ward will investigate. I know Sue Solowski Garza was very interested in that area. She was actually the first one to bring it to the attention of the people.
Okay.
Then the VPIA, the Vets Park Improvement Association, you know, had a couple of speakers there at one of their meetings and opened it up to the people in the area. And there was, like I said, a very good turnout of people from the area that walked the grounds. And like you say, Eve, it's there is a fence there now bordering the river and the property. And hopefully one of the plans, future plans, is to maybe open that up for the people to maybe boat down there, canoe down there. I don't know, but yeah, there's we have quite a few great areas in great public spaces that are just dying for people to make themselves available to it. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
So that's on the west side of the river, correct?
It is
Yes.
on the
Yes,
west
If that
side.
park is involved in it, I assume it would be on the west side. And
yes.
there's been a talk over the years, and I'm saying like 10 or 12 years of really improving the areas along the river. And I don't know which group it was that was pushing that, but I don't think there hasn't been success there.
I forget who the group is, Michael. I'm sorry, but
If
yeah,
That's Park is involved in it.
yeah, very much so. The VPIA is very much in favor of that development. Yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
I had seen something about it, I'm sure recently, but I should start paying more attention, I guess.
We talked about the river, and here you have a pretty good opportunity, nice grassy area, and then you go to 106th Street, and you got some pretty heavy polluters, in my way of thinking, that are just bordering on the river, and it's just I don't know how people marched and went on hunger strikes to stop General Iron, but nobody says a word about Calumet and those polluters that if you've ever been down 106th Street heading east over that bridge and you look to the south, bordering that river are tons of metal, and it's just disgusting. But nobody says a word about it, and I don't understand why.
Nick mentioned in chat that the University of Chicago was a group behind that.
Michael, it looks like it was UIC. I think that's University of Illinois at Chicago.
Yeah, UIC. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Nick.
No, UIC. Okay. He corrected me. All right. So that's interesting. That's good.
But I have a question. When they opened that for people to, like come and spend some time there and experience the area, how was that? How did people know that it was happening?
Well, I found out from the VPIA.
And the VPIA is what?
Veterans Park Improvement Association.
Oh, okay.
And originally, like I mentioned, it was brought up as a public space by Susan Sedlowski Garza, the alderwoman of the 10th Ward. And she was the first one to advocate for that area. And then the VPIA picked up the ball, and I'm sure Sue is still involved with it, even though she's leaving the position. So whoever follows her hopefully will continue carrying the ball for that area.
And is there's the, wait a minute, Southeast, oh, this is the Southeast Task Force involved in that at all?
I've seen some people from the Southeast Task Force there. I don't know. I don't know how much are they advocating for the area, if they're for or against it, but I'm sure they're probably for it. But I really don't know what their position on it is.
Okay.
Okay, are there other places I should be going that I don't know about? I mean, this is in my own backyard and I read about it, but I haven't been there. And now I will. I got someplace to scout it out.
Walhalla Park in Indiana is a beautiful park too. Walhalla Beach in Whiting.
Yes,
That's a beautiful park right on the lakefront.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could walk from the field house in Calumet Park, Chicago. You could walk from there all the way to Walhalla Beach.
Right.
They have a walkway back there, a bike path, a walkway. I walked it. I haven't ridden a bike for a while back there, but you could literally walk from the field house at Calumet Park all the way to the Mascot Museum on 119th Street.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
that bike path is, yeah, I have to use it more. I've used it a couple of times, but
Oh, it's amazing.
it's really nice, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Another-
and
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Mike, can I interrupt? Sorry. Jim Buter, part of Isaac Walton League. I know, Mike. Just a shameless plug for the Walhalla Beach. We do a cleanup on Walhalla Beach in May. So if any groups that want to help us, we usually get a lot of the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts come help us clean that beach. And we do it on a Saturday morning. Usually takes a couple hours, but it's a good time for all.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's in May?
That usually is in May. Yeah, Kim Russell, she's the president of Griffith Isaac Walton League. I'm a treasurer and officer on it. So we do that as a outreach for the community. And then I organize the Little Calumet River cleanup. We do that the first weekend of May, usually the last weekend of April. But this year it's working out to do the first weekend of May. But we do that right off Chase Street in Gary and clean up the Little Calumet River. We do about a mile east and west of Chase Street. So, but anyways,
could you send Michael information about that so he could send it out to this group?
yeah, definitely.
That would be great.
Okay, thanks. No problem.
And as long as we're plugging things on the Indiana side, there's also the bird sanctuary, which the path from Calumet Park to Walhalla Beach would pass it, I think.
Yeah.
There is a path through it. Do you go through it or do you go around it?
You can go through it.
I know you can go through it, but I guess you're going through the parking lot if you're going around it. But it's worthwhile to go into the bird sanctuary because it's like you're not in Northwest Indiana. I mean, the industry drops away, the noise of the cars drop away. It's like being in the middle of a big forest. It's really cool. And it's kind of elevated, like almost on a little cliff. It rises above the lake a little bit. So you're looking down on Lake Michigan. It's really kind of cool.
Oh, it is very much
Yeah.
so. Yeah. I mean, there's even a beach back there that borders.
Yes.
And you could almost walk from that beach all the way to, well, probably the casino. But there is like an outcropping of pretty big rocks that block that path all the way. But yeah, it's beautiful back there. It really is.
Yeah, before the casino, before the marina, before all of that, it was Bobby Beach.
That's right. That's right. that bird sanctuary, that path, it could probably use a little manicuring because some of it is pretty hard to get through. I don't know who probably somebody in Indiana at Wahala might wanna,
You know, I don't know who maintains it.
yeah.
So, and it's been a while since I've been out there, so I don't know. I don't know what the path is like. It was pretty clear when I was there. I mean, you could walk and not, not have branches in your face or anything like that.
Yeah, it could use a little it can use a little cleaning up.
Okay.
Historically, that was the dump site. And
Wow.
so, yeah, and so you walk through there and it's, I don't know that this, and I think because it was a dump site, Carolyn Marsh got hold of it and rescued it, and now it's a bird site, and I assume Carolyn Marsh spent a lot of time over there.
I thought I heard that they wanted to build condos there or something. I think they wanted to do some development there at one time. So it's a nice little quiet little corner. I mean, it's really kind of it's a cool place.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I
That
agree.
would destroy it.
Yeah.
Condos would ruin it.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the like condos for that, and Carolyn Marsh is quite feared, I think, in Whiting and Hammond and in the area because
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's a voice to be reckoned with, no question.
Right.
But in a good way.
Right.
so Joey Hines. I don't know if he's at the computer, but I think
Yeah, I'm here.
okay. You're at Edgar's Grove, right?
I'm actually on the Indiana side in Robertsdale.
Okay. I thought okay, I've been associating you with Edgar's Grove.
Yeah, it's close enough that I can walk there.
Okay.
The bird sanctuary is pretty close too. It's a wonderful getaway from the city.
Okay.
I wanted to say something too about this Indiana side. We have right now with Lake County Parks a proposed grant for the Grand Calumet area of concern.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that includes any of the Illinois side of things, but if there was anybody to talk to about that, would you know any names maybe with the city of Chicago or anybody who's managing some of those lands around Grand Calumet?
Yeah, let me think a little bit.
I think it's the CalSag channel is one, right?
Sarah's involved in that. I can I'll bring it up to her. I think she's speaking in May, and I think it's for the Calumet Nature Exchange, but I just saw her at Wild Things. By the way, did anybody go to Wild Things? It was out on the 2 weeks ago on a Saturday on the 20th February.
I was not able to make it. Did you attend all the?
I went and that was a huge event. That was pretty impressive. I was selling books for 3 hours, and which was one of my reasons for being there. But I was, that was a huge event, about 2,000 people. And I thought I was going to sell a lot of books, but I didn't sell a lot.
So what,
Did
where
Mary Ann
was
speak?
this event, Michael?
Pardon?
Where was this event?
Oh,
And what,
at Stevens Convention Center,
oh, okay.
okay, also known as
I know the place.
yeah, it's near the airport. But
Right.
it was quite the event, I thought.
But what was the nature of the event? What were they?
I swear they had maybe 30 different presenters, and they had this in this huge building, and there were amazing number of rooms there, and there was something going on in each room throughout Saturday till about 6 in the evening.
That's the place in Rosemont, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah, Rosemont. Yeah, that's Rosemont. But I just and because of COVID, I don't think I've been to their meeting before. And because of COVID, they didn't, most of it was on Zoom.
Yeah, it's quite a hike. It's quite a hike to get out there.
Yeah. About 45 minutes from.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just looked it up and I see that it says it was celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Illinois Nature Preserve and the communities who care for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that something they do every year?
I think every other year, and I think they do it every other year. And this year it was, they still had some things by Zoom, but it was in person. And I don't know how the combination went, but I think in person was most people I think were there in person. Oh, I don't know if we solved every problem today, but I'm glad you showed up. I apologize for not having my my speaker turned on. That was embarrassing. But I would like if people, when I brought up the matter of getting managers to work together on the Wolf Lake, I'm going to bring it up at this November's meeting as well. So if you want to reserve time, it's the first Friday in November, and it's an all-day event, and it's at Calumet College, second floor, and we have several areas of concern already. And by the time we start meeting with the planning committee in June, we'll have some more. And but we scheduled that for all day long. And Valerie, you've been to a lot of those meetings, and I think I'll just try to solve some more problems at that time.
And what is this called, Michael? And
it's called the Wolf Lake what's it called? Association or Wolf Lake Advisory Committee meeting, Wolf Lake Watershed Advisory Committee meeting. And the reason every 5th year we have a research summit as well. And I think 2 years ago we had them both at the same time. But yeah, we just discussed the problems of the bi-state area and try to find solutions to problems. And it's a good way for people to. It's a good place where watershed managers should be attending, so they can talk to others that work there and that play there, I guess. And so I'll try to. I don't always reach everybody that or find everybody, invite everybody that I should. So if you want to just put that on your calendar. Or
First Friday of November?
First Friday of November. Yeah. So that's, I don't know. Valerie, you think I think people learn a lot there, I think.
Oh, yes, it's very informative. This past November, it was both virtual and in person. So people who couldn't make the drive for one reason or another were still able to participate.
And I'm sure that's the way it's going to be next November as well. So, and that's the way I can remember maybe about 4 years ago, it was strictly by Zoom. But I think having it by Zoom and in person, that's it. And it's about half and half, I think. Last November was about half and half. About 20 people there and 20 people on Zoom. So, and it's usually just updates on projects that are ongoing and to discuss what should be done, what areas of concern, and so there are some topics that take 2 or 3 years to fully examine. So it's a good thing to have. So that's when I was thinking today about getting the managers to work together, and I think that will be a major topic next November as well. Unless we all fix it before then, but I don't think that's going to happen, right?
Well, if more people show up and they see, the non-communication, maybe more people, different people, start firing up these people. Wake up before it's too late.
That's right. All right. So Wayne, you got to be there so you can go out and wake up some people. That's good.
No, I've got it written down, Michael.
All right. So wondering is that Galbraith?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know what you wanted me to.
Oh, I was just wondering if we were just talking about the areas in the southeast side, and you're old East Sider.
Oh, absolutely. No, about every place that was mentioned. In fact, I lived 108th in Buffalo. I lived 104th in Ewing. All the pollution, the Wolf Lake, I hung out as a kid, BA Beach, everything we've talked about, I experienced as a kid. But I really haven't lived on the southeast side for 50 years. So, but I'm enjoying the dialogue because Mike, last couple of days I've put together some I've applied with Patagonia and NIPSCO and Polk Brothers today on some various grants that we talked about. So I'm hopeful at least one will hit. So
Okay. Yeah, all right,
this is all good background.
what's your schedule this week? When can we get together?
Let me think. Pick a time. I've got various things I'm doing. Just
Okay, Wednesday at
to,
10 or 11?
tomorrow 10. Tomorrow's
Uh,
Wednesday.
Yeah, tomorrow is Wednesday. Wednesday at 10?
Yep, I can be at your office.
Okay, okay. Very good. I'm trying to get hold of Abby as well.
Yeah, I was hoping that anything that I could pick up, because she was like finishing up a lot, but I'd sure like to, help her finish them up. So
Yeah, yeah. So so if she gets back to me, we'll set up a meeting for that as well.
okay, so I'll hold off till.
Yeah, why don't you hold off until we get Abby?
Okay, I'm always an email away. Just let me know. I'll hold it open tomorrow.
Okay.
If actually, I'll hold Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 a.m.
Oh, great.
I'm just tied up in the afternoons.
Okay,
Okay.
good. The morning's good for me too.
right.
I apologize for doing business over,
No. Yeah, I understand.
but anyway, I noticed your name and I thought, well, you must be knowing all these areas that
Oh,
we're talking about.
yeah, but all this is helpful.
Yeah.
Just reflecting in the vitality, and I'm for the revitalization, obviously, and I'm very hopeful that good things will happen. So
Yeah. And yeah, and you should revisit the south, the east side sometimes to see if you recognize it.
oh well, no, I go through at least once a month for the last 50 years.
Okay.
I still have contacts in the old high school, St. Francis de Sales, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of contacts with that. I was on their board for a while, so.
Oh, okay. So anyone else have something to add? I just want to say I appreciate everybody for sticking with me. I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong and I didn't have my audio on, so I apologize for that. So anyway, thanks for doing this, and we'll meet again a month from now. I think that's April 4th. And let's see who we have up. Oh, that would be Colleen McVeigh of the Field Museum, and she will be speaking on the 2002 BioBlitz at Wolf Lake, recent insect and bird declines, lawns of native species, and monarch butterflies. So she's got a lot of things that talk about. So that's April 4th on a Tuesday. And then also we have Friends Calumet Nature Exchange on March 21st, I think. So you might want to join us for that as well. So anyway, thank you for participating, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael.